Hey, this is Tracy with Tracy Talks. Welcome. This energy in the sky is pretty intense right now. And I'm seeing it show up in our relationships. There's a lot of discussion in my network, and it revolves around the dynamics of the relationship has changed. And we've been in this process of things breaking down on a large scale. We see it in the world, we see it out there, and we don't always recognize how the energy out there is also impacting the immediate energy in our worlds. And I'm hearing this similar theme that keeps coming up right now. And there's a lot of frustration about this person in my life and how they've changed. And I want to just go back to the way things used to be. I see people resisting and holding on. And if I just say one more time, if I just have one more discussion, then this person will go back to how they used to think and how they used to act. And I can just have one more discussion and I can bring it up one more time. And then everything's going to go back to the way it used to be. We are in a cycle where we have changed. And it's not just one person in the relationship or in the dynamic. Both of you have changed. Whether you recognize it or not, you have. And why do you want to hold on to this version so badly? What are you invested in? And I keep going back to this saying, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And I do see a lot of people wanting to be right. You want to have your opinion heard. You want to have changes made based on your opinion. You want people to know how you feel, and then you want people to react and take action on your beliefs. But are you doing that same courtesy to others? This person that I'm seeing who is frustrated and who continually shows up and just they want things to go back, and they want life to be this old version. And I don't necessarily see happiness there. I don't see you being happy. I see you wanting to be right, but I don't see you being happy. Imagine that you have your wish list. You have 10 important items on that list. These are the things that are in your peripheral, in your short-term plan or goal, or even long-term plan. And you're trying to figure out how you can make all 10 of those items and dreams come true. This isn't the energy for that. This is the energy that is saying you get to pick 2 of those items and you can have 2 of them complete in their full scope, in their full entirety. You can have 2 of those. If you continue to prioritize your life and build your life around trying to have all 10 of them, you're not going to be happy. None of them are going to come to complete fruition. This is a scenario that is showing up in people's lives. And we're trying to make every single dream that's in our heart come true. The energy is really just saying, I want you to narrow down and pick 1 or 2 things. Devote all of your time and energy to those 2 things. You can't have it all right now. And why do we want to have it all? Why do we think that we can spread ourselves out like that? The way that Saturn is positioned in the sky right now, this is a cycle that recently started. It's a 2-year cycle. And if you think about this as a building period, a period where you can make some really significant growth in whatever you invest your time and energy into. But again, you can't have 10 different friends, 10 very different friends with different interests and different parts of your life, and expect to develop 10 individual relationships. It's not easy. And we try to do that sometimes in life. We try to make sure that we bring everybody along. We don't want to leave anybody behind. That isn't the energy that's in the sky right now. Where can you look at your list of these are the priorities that I want, that I need, and narrow your list down to a realistic number? I can have 2. And that's not easy, because that means you may have to tell someone you're not the priority. You may have to shift your time and energy into your work versus your relationship. You may have to have some honest conversations about the people in your life. How you've changed, what has changed, what do you need now that you're not getting from this relationship? The test that I have been using in my own life is, does this bring me peace? Does this relationship, how I'm spending my time, bring me peace? There are things that I have been accustomed to doing, to participating in, that don't bring me the level of peace as some other things. And that's my test now. Like, how do I feel inside when I spend time with someone or I spend time doing this? How do I feel when it's over? Do I feel calm? Do I feel relief? Do I feel expansive? Or do I feel uneasy? Do I feel angry? Do I feel frustrated? And this energy is not supporting us holding on to those relationships that we've outgrown. It's like we're all getting a dose of maturity and reality right now. Things aren't the same. They're not going back to the way that they were. You need to pack lightly. You only have a carry-on bag right now, and you need to pack lightly because you don't know what the journey is. That is the energy in the sky. And if we can open ourselves up to the possibility that there is a plan here and that we are learning things that maybe we don't know we need to learn. Myself am guilty of that. I walk around sometimes thinking, I don't need to learn another lesson. And you know what? That's not always the reality. The reality is there's one more lesson that I needed to learn and that I needed to go through this. Eventually, I've got to get off of that spiral, and I've got to change how I see it, how I act, how I react, and maybe just realize that I've learned everything that I need to in that relationship. And it's time for me to move on. In my life, there has been this reinforcement of relationships. And it is, and if I could go back to my younger self, I would say it is important who you partner with. Like, this isn't all fun and games. This isn't all just you playing the game of life where you're picking out your color of car, you're spinning that dial, and how many kids do you have, and everything's going to work out perfect. Like, this shit is real. And who you partner with is so important. because that sets up your relationships. And if you have kids with this person, then everybody is experiencing this dynamic of the relationship. And if you had a great relationship and a great marriage and everything's beautiful, that's wonderful. That's not my experience. And I made a decision back in 1999, going on 30 years now, a whole Saturn cycle, and it has impacted a significant chunk of my life. I made a decision, and it wasn't a very good decision, and I have spent more time than I wish I had trying to undo that one choice. This is a good time to be honest about what it is that you want. What is on your list? What do you really want? And I see people, they know what they want. They know how to prioritize the items on their list. But that also requires you having difficult conversations with the people in your life. And not everybody's willing to do that. And I'm even facing this question, like, can I do what I need to do? Like, if my happiness is dependent upon me doing these things, is my happiness really worth it? That is the conversation in the sky right now. This is the serious energy that we're all being presented. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy? And if you want to be happy, then sometimes that's going to require us having hard, difficult conversations. Thank you for watching this episode of Tracy Talks. Remember to subscribe and share with others. It really helps me out.